Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to part 7 of Line Cook tips and tricks. None of these are in any particular order or of importance. I just think that these are all things that everyone should know. If you feel like some of this stuff is just you're too advanced for this shit, that's cool. It's not for you then. Okay, if you find it ridiculous that I'm having to put, hey, say corner when you go around corners. Hey, when you have a knife, make sure it points down and say corner sharp. If that's just not your vibe, then that's cool, man. Hit the stop. Why don't you go watch some DJ Academics? Find something to do. Maybe Trap Lord Ross. Maybe check out like Gangs of Chicago or some shit like that. But if you're new, you just want to know some tips and tricks, maybe just polish up, quick little review, and we'll get this going, okay? So we'll start off with number 1. No particular order. Always ask before using someone else's knife. When I started working in the kitchen, I think Anthony Bourdain wrote this in somewhere. He's like, someone said, "Are you gonna touch my dick? No? Then don't touch my knife. If you're not gonna touch my dick, don't touch my knife," because that's sort of like the relationship to it is. The thing is, here's the thing about knives. You've already been told several times when when you're looking for a knife, you want to hold the knife because it needs to feel like an extension of yourself. So when so everyone's knife is, you could almost say it's unique to them. Like I've held a shun. I'm not rocking shun. I'm not going to be buying a shun knife anytime soon. It's just, I don't like the way it feels. It doesn't feel like an extension of me. It feels comfortable. It feels nice. It just doesn't feel right to me. I don't like it. I can't explain it. I've tried Miyabis, the birchwood Miyabis, the really nice ones with the beautiful Damascus finish. Again, I don't care. It just, I used it. That's cool. If someone was like, "Hey, what's right here? Have these." Thanks, I appreciate it, but it's not for me. But what I'm getting at is, each knife is special to that cook, and it doesn't matter whether it's like a $300 Miyabi, a $700. Who cares? It could be a $40 Victorinox. That's not your knife, dude. And the thing is, sometimes people will use knives and not know how to use them. Sometimes I've seen people just goes like, "Oh, can I they'll just grab a Miyabi knife, someone's Miyabi knife, and start, breaking down chicken. And then guess what? Now you gotta fucking the tip breaks, it gets chipped, and that's gonna be a tough one to explain to someone. I mean, yeah, you could probably sharpen it, but it would piss me the fuck off. Like, what are you doing? Why are you using the heel of my knife to open up a can of ketchup? Why don't you go use a house knife? You never take good care of things as you do your own. So, please, before you go and pick someone's knife up, even if I'm cool with someone, I'll still ask, like, "Hey, do you mind if I use your knife? Can I use your knife?" And it's much appreciated, and it's nice to try other people's knives, because that way it's almost like it's like test driving. I've had a lot of knives. I've tried a lot of knives, and I ended up going with the Zwilling Henkel's Pro Line chef knife. I love that thing. At some point, I have plans of making like a sort of EDC line cook, just everyday carry shit, and I do plan on showing off my knife. I fucking love that knife. It feels like an extension of me. I can't imagine using another knife now. I love that thing. I love the belly. I love the curve. I love the point. I love the way it feels. I love I love that knife. Now look at the way I'm talking about my knife. Now imagine some asshole just comes and then chips the tip of it. There's no amount like, "Oh, we can fuck you. You're buying me a new knife." Like, my soul hurts. Don't touch my shit. So, don't touch other people's knives. Ask. And when you do, clean it up, be respectful, and say thank you. Show up to work clean and professional. Like, uniform-wise, looks-wise. You know, I don't care what your personal style is. There's a clean version of that, and there's a dirty-ass version of it. I used to work with this street punk skinhead guy. You know, your black tight rolled up jeans, Doc Marten boots, band shirt, you know, he had, you know, his chains, all everything, you know? But that guy, he'd come in like boots nice and polished, clean. You could smell he was clean. You know, you don't have to be near. You can just tell, you know, that shirt looked nice. You know, everything. It was presentable. You're working with food, and especially if you're working in an open kitchen and you see someone dirty. And also it says a lot about you, man. You know, on the flip side, I worked with a guy who just like, Jesus, fuck, dude. Like, he would legit work on his car all fucking morning and then go to work in the same clothing he had on. Like, oil stained pants, this way the fuck too large fucking size shirt, and, you know, like, bandana, didn't shower, like, you could smell him from your station, and it was just gross. And if you would have told me don't judge a book by its cover, I would have told you go fuck yourself. I would have imagined like, oh, this guy's a bum ass motherfucker. He probably like works clean, works dirty. And you know what? He did work dirty. You know? And then recently we had another guy come in, like a new hire, and it was the first time where I was like, I'm gonna go with my gut instinct and say no. And my chef wanted to like, what do you think? I'm like, my gut instinct says no, so I'm gonna say no. But I'm gonna try not to be judgy and give the guy a shot. Now, why was I saying no? Because he just didn't look well put together. And I'm not talking about like, oh, you're poor and you're broke and you can't afford. No, again, there's a way. Whatever your style is, however you want to dress, there's a clean version of that and a dirty version of it. Please show up to work clean, freshly showered. Me personally, I show up to work, all my clothing is fresh, clean, you know, usually straight out of the dryer. I do shower like right before. So like if I work at 4, I'm taking a shower at 3. I just want to go to work fresh, you know. I'm working late. I'm working the night shift, and I've already been out. I've been running errands. I'm sweaty. I'm gross. Like, I don't want to pile more of that onto myself, you know. So I feel, and you know, there's something about just showing up to work, you're nice, your hair's done, you smell good, you look good, and you feel good, and it shows and it translates. And again, it's those things where it's like people are just gonna look and be like, yeah, this fucking guy's solid. Yeah. 100%. Take care of your appearance, okay? It's not everything, but it says a lot about you. You can't judge a book by its cover, but you can tell a lot from it. This one's kind of tough. And in the last video, I talked about, you know, what did I talk about? So this one's kind of tough. And in the last video, I talked about owning your mistakes. Like, you fuck up, just admit to it, man. Don't try and hide it. Don't be a fucking child about it, right? Well, this one, I'm going to tell you this. Be accountable to yourself and don't hold other people to your standards. So, before COVID, when I was in full mode grind, and that was because I wanted to be chef. There were other people that were there because it's a job. Just plain simple, it's like they like working there, it's a job. There's other people there where it's a job that accommodates them going to school. Everyone is there for different fucking reasons. So just because I'm willing to stay late, just because I'm willing to come in early, and if I'm willing to do the club, just because I'm willing to do all that, those are my standards, doesn't mean you share the same standards. And I don't think it's okay for you to be, shitting on someone else because they're not doing something the way you would. That's not your job. You know who gets to set the standards? The chef sets the standards, okay? So if you're doing something at your high standard and someone else is doing that not their high standard, well, that's up to the chef. If the chef says, hey, you know what, we all need to be on the same page, cool. Sometimes it's not like that, and it's just, it eats you up alive, for sure. It eats you up. You do feel a certain type of way when you see someone doing something they're not supposed to, or they're working at a certain, like I have a pantry cook that legit, it's a good job for her. They're accommodating to her. She goes to school, and that girl really just comes in, does her job, no more, no less. And for the longest time, it was very hard to me to be accepting of that, because it's like, there's so much to do. How come you're not helping the team? Blah, blah, blah. Why am I creating friction when you don't need to be? I don't get that. It's just hard, And the thing is, people in life are gonna settle into where they belong. Everyone wants to just fucking skyrocket, go fucking up high. The truth is, some people go and then they're like, oh, hey, you know what? I'm comfortable right here. And then some people go and it's like, oh, they're comfortable here. And maybe some are comfortable there. Just because you're comfortable here and someone's comfortable there, I don't think it makes them a bad person or a bad employee if they're doing their best, B, they're not being dirty or cutting corners. I just don't see this. It's taken me a long time to get to this point where it's like, it is what it is, Like now when I'm closing, if it's my night to close, I'll usually tell everyone, look, close your station and do one thing. Whether it's put the saute pans away, take out the trash, sweep and mop, take out recycling. Just do one thing and then dip out. Because I get it. Some people will stay. And I don't have to tell them anything. Some people, they just really want to go, dude. You know what? I get it. You don't want to be here, that's fine. I'm not going to guilt trip you. I'm not going to give you shit about it. But that's fine. Look, everyone's in the kitchen for different reasons. Be a little empathetic. Don't hold everyone to your standards. You're not the chef. And when you do become a chef, make sure that your standards, what you want, aligns with fucking owner. And if you're the owner, you're the head boss, you run the kitchen however the fuck you want. Okay? Whoever wants to stick around will. Whoever doesn't want to stick around won't. And only time will tell if your method, your leadership style pays off. Number 4. Don't be afraid to find a new kitchen. And I can sit here and list off the kind of things that I think warrant looking for a new kitchen, but only you are going to know if it's time to look for a new kitchen. Look, I've been in situations where I stick around longer than most people would have. But that's my personal business. The way I see it is, if you're not learning, if the chef is showing absolute no interest, there's absolutely no room for you to move up. Like wherever you are, that's where you're at. The environment is toxic, and more importantly, it's bringing out the worst in you, then yeah, you should definitely go and start looking for a new kitchen. But for instance, sometimes like I've been in situations where I have to deal with a shitty ass coworker. But I deal with it because I see the value of the personal challenge, but I also see the value in staying in that company because I am being watched and people do want to see me succeed. And maybe it's not my time yet, but if I throw that opportunity away now because of one person, How am I ever going to get anywhere if literally every time an obstacle comes my way, I just run away from it, you know? But it goes back to like the last tip. I'm not going to put my standards onto other people, and I don't want other people to put their standards onto me. And I'm not going to do that to you. You know whether you want to stay at a place or not. You'll know if it's worth it. You'll know if it, I don't think when it comes to looking for a new kitchen, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think you should just weigh your options. There's always a pro and a con to it. And it helps, if you talk to your chef about it. If you have a mentor, talk to your mentor about it. Talk to your friend, talk to someone. Preferably talk to someone that's in the industry that understands. I don't know. It would have to be a pretty bad situation for me to say, like, yeah, fucking leave that place. Like, yeah, if you're staging and the chef's calling you a fucking hindrance, yeah, I'm gonna say, like, nah, fuck that place. If you're staging and immediately day one, the guy you're working with is just shitting on you, and that's just like, that's just him, we love him. He's our resident asshole. Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm not putting up with that shit. Fuck that. And at the end of the day, it's a business. I understand some kitchens are very like, we're a family. Yeah, you might have a nice tight little community, but at the end of the day, it's a fucking business, and a business is gonna do what's best for them. I'm not saying that these companies don't care about you. I'm not saying my company doesn't care about me. But at the end of the day, you're a piece of a bigger thing. There's only so much accommodating a company can do for you. But again, you got to see what's best for you. I can't make that choice for you. I can only give you, hey, this is what I would do in your situation. Hey, this is kind of what your options are. But at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. No one is ever going to care more about you than you. There's people who are going to love you and they're going to care for you, but you got to look out for you, man. You got to look out for your mental health. And if you're not getting anything out of the suffering, again, it's like, you go to the gym, you work out, you deal with, delayed onset muscle soreness because you're going for the gains, right? You might be working in a tough kitchen for the next 6 months, just grinding because you want to make lead or you want to make sous. Look, if my struggle might not be worth it to someone else, but it's worth it to me. There's a certain amount of shit I'm willing to take and I'm willing to accept to get to the goals that I want to accomplish. And there's some things that I'm just simply not going to. And some people are going to surpass me because of that. And there's other people who are never going to surpass me because of the goal, my set, what I think is acceptable in the kitchen. So that's that. It's part 7. I hope you got some value from these videos. I appreciate all the messages and the comments and the DMs that you guys leave me. You guys know that you can always hit me up at my Instagram, at @ahoNameSway. You can leave a comment down below. I read all the comments. I reply to most of them. If you DM me, if you want a more one-on-one experience, we can definitely do that. Hit me up. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys next time. Thank you, and have a great service.